This is the hook. The one I was telling you about that I wanted one of these forever, but they stopped making it. And it's cool. It just does a bunch of cool stuff that other ones like won't do. So takes a second to boot up. Makes that cool noise. So, but check it out. So just like the other one. So you can shoot voltage. You can shoot ground. Turn the speaker on and off. And then it also has all these other features. So it actually tells me the resistance of the bulb. When I shoot it, it tells me the amperage. So I'm drawing 4.5 amps. Like we did with the little power probe. You know how we made the rig?
Yeah.
Here's the cool thing though. This thing will do up to 65 amps.
Wow.
So it'll do 100 amps of inrush current. So like a blower motor or it'll do like if something's spiking or like solenoids. You know the solenoids? It'll do 100 and then 65. So, but now with that little one we made, we can only check anything under 10 amps because that's the most it will do before you shut it down. With this one, and then it's kind of cool because you can also do this, right? So you can put, because it's a regular banana plug, you can put, you know, this on there, you can put whatever, it doesn't matter, right? Whatever you want to throw on there. But like, let's say this LED. So look, this one draws
1 amp.
1 amp roughly. But that was a cool thing that it did, so I'll show you. This is what's crazy about it. The breaker is, because it's a digital breaker, kind of like the way Teslas work. You know how they have no fuse boxes? The breaker trips like 1,000 times faster than a fuse will. So you can go in here, watch. See the breaker?
Yeah.
It's set to 20, 25.
So you can adjust.
So you can set it all the way to 65 amps. But right, you can set it to 2 amps. So you know our one strand test?
Yeah, you could do that.
And you can set it to 2 amps and have a 2 amp fuse. This will pop before your 2 amp fuse. So in those cars where we're blowing fuses constantly, you hook this up instead and it'll work. And then when it blows, you'll know. So I'm gonna set it back to 20 amps just so that you guys can see. 20 amps. And it tells you right here. So it's 20 amps and it's momentary. So if I shoot power, it didn't spark. You know how normally it would spark? It didn't spark and it blew the breaker. It literally, it's like fast as can be, right? Now, the other cool thing is, so I hit the select button. See how it switches? I can switch it to latched. So I now made it latched. So, but see, look, now you could watch it. And then again, if we did have a short, like if we did, and it would come back on. So you keep testing and testing till you figure out. We do have those fuse thingies. So you would replace the fuse with one of those little tools. And then, or they come with these. So you could slide it in the pin, right? Like in the pin and the fuse, and then you hook it up. And now if it blows, you're good, right? But how cool is that? Where that you could, so you could change it, the circuit breaker to whatever, you know, up to 65 amps. That's a lot, bro. Like 65 amps, I mean, you could run an amp with that. So here's the other one that it has. It's just really cool. It has pulsed. So what you do is, and it'll, here.
That's cool.
So.
Yeah, and the latch, because sometimes you need to like move and look for something.
Exactly.
And it's hard to, like, you can't like shoot. You can't hold it, yeah.
And it'll do both.
That's very cool.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Right? And then if you hit it again, it stops. Let's say you're looking for a bad relay, or you're looking for a relay. You need to figure out which one it is. But they're like this. Do you think you could touch and feel which one is going off? Let's see. Tell me which one's going off.
It's hard to tell.
You tell me, Hondo. It's very difficult, right? You could do it, I'm sure, but this is what you do instead. So we're gonna go.
So you get the step.
So nothing, nothing. There it is, right? So let's say you're in a harness and there's 10 green wires or 30 green wires.
Yeah.
Let's say you're in a harness and there's 10 green wires or 30 green wires, and you need to find the one wire that you're trying to find. You can hook this up at the front, right? Like let's say pull the fuse, pull the relay, pull the connector. You take this and you put the lead in it, put it on pulse, go to the trunk, the whatever, and then with another probe, you just look for the pulses, because you can make it positive, but what if it's another wire?
Yeah, all of them are.
You can make it ground. Yeah. What if it's another ground? Yeah. What if it's backfeeding like the Chevelle was the other day, where you're testing it and you're like, oh, there it is, and oh no, the Jeep for the wiper motor, where what if you had that situation? Yeah. So how dope is it? Because now you can figure out exactly what wire, or you can figure exactly what relay, or you can figure out exactly what component is bad. Yeah. Does that make sense? I was like, that is awesome, right? So let's do so here, just to show you this one real quick too. I'm gonna put it back to momentary. See? It tells you the amperage.
Oh, that's nothing.
And it tells you the amperage, and it tells you the impedance. So here's what's crazy. So it's telling you the impedance. So watch the impedance. We gotta wait till it stops. But once I go, so the impedance goes all the way up to 50, and look at our amp drop. Now, let's say that this motor's bad. Like the motor's stuck or it's dragging. Right? I'm gonna hold it a little bit, right? Watch see how my amperage doubled and my ohms cut in half, right? So my amperage doubled and my ohms cut in half, because basically there's resistance. There's more resistance now than when it's actually working correctly. On a lot of stuff, they'll actually have ohms charts for like what a component should ohm out at, like what the natural resistance of the component is. And if it's way above spec, then you know that there's basically the motor's either going bad, there's drag. Does that make sense? So the other cool thing is, and I mean, you wouldn't pull this out for this, but just so you know, .756 ohms, and it's a 2 ohm driver, and you know they're never what they say they are. It is making a little noise, so that means that there's voltage. Yeah, which is that's the only bad part. But I mean, this is a really big boy.
Technically, if it's doing ohms, it has to put something through, no? Like even the meters are doing that.
No, because it's just reading the resistance through the cable, through the wiring.
Do that without sending current.
It's just reading it. It's just reading the current. So here's the other cool thing that it does. Let's say this wire, good voltage, right? See this little hot shot button? That's the button that you have on that other one. Hot shot failed. Why did it fail? It says I have 12 volts.
It's not, once you load it.
So I'm right here, right? Same thing, hot shot passed. I put in a resistor to simulate, well, not a break, to simulate a ground to short or a corrosion. Like in other words, there's still enough there to allow me to get full voltage, but as soon as you load it, there's not enough there. Cause you check a brain and be like, did you check power? Yeah, I got 12 volts right at the brain. Okay, but do you have good 12 volts, right? Or you could do the same for ground. If you move over to ground, it'll show you ground, and when you hot shot it, it'll tell you fail. Yeah. Because same thing, the ground is too low. Yeah. It won't pass enough current. But what do you think? That's pretty freaking cool, right? Like all the stuff that it does. And then, so the other thing that it has, so it has a bunch of other stuff that we wouldn't use, like the voltmeter. It has a min-max for the voltmeter. Old meter has a min-max. So if you wanted to see if a component is like what the highest impedance and the lowest, injector mode, you can fake an injector, like to pulse like an injector, to kind of like, again, not a duty cycle for the injector, because they all run on duty cycles. It's how many times they open, close, or whatever, right? Voltage reference, this one's really cool. So you can go in here, you know how I was doing the weird thing? I can set it for 0.5 volt to 5 volts. it will only do 1/2 volt to 5 volts. So then you can check, I wouldn't suggest it, but you could check BCMs directly because you're such a low voltage.
Not gonna hurt it.
No, because especially like, let's say you're checking a 5 volt.
It's like an oxygen sensor.
Exactly, like an O2 sensor. Again, most of this stuff is made for mechanics. It's not made for us, right? But let's say you're sending an oxygen sensor, an EGR valve, or whatever, anything, they all run on 5 volts, basically. You can use this, and now you know you can check it, you can shoot it, and you be safe. And if it pops, it won't send, I think it sends less than 1/4 of a millivolt or something like that. So like our 1 strand test, less than that. Like it's less than our 1 strand test. So you can save preferences. Like, so like if you want it set up, because you can set it up a certain way, you can save a preference so you know, like
Every time you use it.
like, yeah, instead of having it, like if you only need it for one thing or for a certain thing or whatever, you can set it that way. So this is cool too. Can you guys see this? So this is the battery voltage. This is the tip voltage. But the reason that's important is, you know how they tell you how to do a voltage drop? You know voltage drop, right? So in other words, at the battery, it's 12, and at the component, it's 9, right? Well, normally to do that, you have to do a whole bunch of math and take multiple readings and whatever. With this, you know what it is at the battery or where you're starting, and then you check it at the brain. If you have more than 1/2 volt,
That's bad.
usually there's a problem, right? You either have corrosion, a burnt wire, a burnt fuse. You have something that's not right. So it's super nice because, like I said, if you're checking like an amp and you check the amp and you're like, at the battery it's 12, 11, 8, and at the amp you have 10, 9 or 10, 8. That's a whole volt. You're like, holy crap, what the hell's going on? Do we have a bad ground? Do we have a bad power? Does that make sense? The other thing that it does have is a way to check relays. So you plug this in and basically you wire this up to the relays and it tells you if the terminals are all
Working.
if all the 5 terminals are working, because it's got like a ground, like it tells you if each terminal, like if those 2 are connected. But yeah, so I mean it does.
That's pretty cool.
Like the amount of stuff that it does is like ridiculous. The other cool thing that we could use it for, and we could have did this on the Miata, is you hook this up to the ground clamp, set it to latched, set it to shoot, parasitic draw.
Set it to
All of it. You set it to latched. So here, we're gonna set it to.
Oh, then it's basically just acting like the.
Yeah. So you set it to latched.
Yeah.
So now I'm shooting this, right? Well, actually, you would set it to ground. Sorry, I messed up. Yeah. You would latch it to ground. You remove the ground terminal, put it in between.
Yeah.
Now it's going to tell you, and it also has a min max, and you can reset the min max the same way that you do on Power Probe, the parasitic draw thingy.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted it, because I saw a dude do it that way. He hooked it all up, and the cool thing is because it's 65 amps, that little Power Probe thing will only take like 10 amps. So if you lock the door, you do anything, poof, you pop it, right? With this, as long as it's not more than 100 amps. Now, there are cases where the car coming on could pull more than 100, but then you do the whole, you power it, connected, and then you pull it off. That's probably the best way. And then it will tell you what your parasitic draw is like of all, and then it'll go min max. And
The thing is, even if it pops this, it comes right back anyway.
yeah, if it did,
that's a nice thing.
if it did pop it, yes. I never thought of that. I'm like, to find a relay, to find a blown wire. If you have, again, if we mess up and make a harness or whatever, and every wire's black, how do you figure out which one we have, right? And that's a good way to do it. There's other ways. You could inject a tone or something else, but this is cool because it just pulses it all by itself. And then the other thing is, like I told you, you could, like we talked about, you could take this, put it in the fuse, and every time you blow it, it will shut off, but come right back on. Instead of that one car we did, how many fuses did we put in that car?
Yeah.
Every time you blew it, you had to walk back over there, swap the fuse, go back. You know what I mean? We must have did that, 10, 20 times?
A lot.
You know, so imagine, and how many fuses? I mean, we literally burned through every fuse we had, right? We figured it out, but why when we could have just did this? And it's cool because as you're moving it, or as you'll be like, oh, there it is, and you don't have to walk away, go put the fuse, and remember where you were. You can just be like, yep, that's it. Because every time because otherwise you might put it down, go over there, and you move something different. You just happen to move it. Does that make sense? So what do you think? Like any other thing? And same thing, like I told you, you can also use it like a ohm meter, like just like a normal ohm meter. You can use it basically, like you said, it's like a meter on steroids, right? It's like literally like the best meter, and like I said, the fact that you can shoot up to 65 amps, that's insane. And this is 20 feet of cable. So, I mean, most cars, the only thing is, it's heavy duty clamps. Yeah, like all this is just for the probe. So it's the heavy duty clamp. So you do have to go to the battery because there's no way you're getting 65 amps through an OBD or through a cigarette lighter. That'd be a bad day. There'd be lots of smoke. Yeah, yeah, or whatever. But what do you think?
Pretty cool.
Cool?